Hello and welcome back to the IRL F1 League with myself, Gareth Hall, and as always, covering Monday nights with me is Sab. How are you doing, Sab?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Tonight we're here in Abu Dhabi. As you can see, the lights will be on. We're racing at night time, and it's a completely different scenario, different circumstances compared to what we had in China last week. And talking of China last week, what an interesting race it was, and we thought we were going to get a race right down to the final lap, didn't we, between Gamer and Cliffy? And we was completely shocked, weren't we, when we seen Gamer having to peel in to do that drive-through penalty right at the end, and Cliffy probably breathing a huge sigh of relief because it looked at that point that his tyres had pretty much gone. So tonight, I'm sure Gamer will be coming into this race wanting to rectify what happened last week and try and get at least a podium this week.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of things we don't usually see here in Abu Dhabi because we've got a few new drivers making their return, and you can see after a week on the sidelines, Sammy Pepito is he's back. He's decided to rejoin the Renaults alongside former IRL F1 champion Jumpalainen. So it's great to see Jumpalainen back out on circuit. Sam, after his week-long extended absence and unfortunately throwing his toys at the pram after being given a slap across the wrist, has decided to come back. So hopefully we see a Sam that is where we know he can be, which is fighting towards the front, not arguing and complaining about extracurricular penalties he's been handed out. But he will be joining with Jumpalainen. Rimac, he's made the jump into Ferrari for this round as well. So a couple of inter-season changes, Sab, and what do you think that's going to do for these drivers?
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? You mentioned Jumpalainen there, and we were talking off air just before we went live, and I was saying I'd love to see the Jumpalainen what we've seen in the past. The Jumpalainen that won a league title here with us, went all the way with Hercules a few seasons ago. That would be fantastic if we could get that Jumpalainen back. He had a difficult season, didn't he, last week, Jumpalainen? Unfortunately, for one reason or another, just couldn't quite get it underway. So Jumpalainen, talking of him now, he's just coming out of the pits now in his Renault. Be great to see him back, like you say. Hopefully you can see him fighting more to the front than what we did last week. But as you say, we've got several different drivers in different cars, and it's good to see a fuller grid this evening. And we're here in Abu Dhabi, so you can imagine there's going to be lots of rain. No, wait, not rain. It's going to be absolutely bone dry because it never rains here in Abu Dhabi, does it?
No, absolutely not. And yeah, welcome everyone to the world's largest car park. We're here in Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi, for what is quite easily the worst track on the F1 calendar. And yes, I am even coming in and bringing in Vietnam and several of the other tracks that most others don't like. I refute anyone to say that there isn't the least interesting track on the calendar. Just offers very little when it comes to racing. However, we are here and we are going down the back straight, but we will endeavour to put on a show and entertain you all as you all come and join us on a Monday evening. And thank you very much for joining us. Of course, my name is Gareth. You can find me on Twitter at GT2_driving, and of course you can find Sab at Alan Sabatino on Twitter. And we cover every Monday night here for the Invictus IRL F1 League on the PS4. Of course, we stream here at Invictus and broadcast on all three platforms, not only on the PlayStation 4, which you can find on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday and a Thursday night. However, we also cover a PC on the Steam version of F1 2020 on a Wednesday night, and the Xbox will be on a Sunday and a Tuesday evening as well. So plenty of places to find some content. If you'd like to get involved in Invictus, make sure you check out the website invictusracingleague.com, or of course go to all of the socials, Invictus RL on Twitter and Invictus Racing League on Facebook and on Instagram. And of course, if you are watching the stream live and you are enjoying the broadcast as TL44S goes across the line and sets the first time at 33.6, Harry goes and does the 32.768, and Sam with a 33.2. Of course, if you are watching and you enjoy, make sure you press that like button. Really does help us out, helping with this YouTube algorithm and helping more people find us and get involved with the league and the community. And that was a little bit of an out breath there from you, Sam. Did you see anything on circuit?
I was just following Just Asas, and he was having a nice tidy lap by his standards. He would have put him second place, but on the final corner, he ran just that bit too wide, invalidated as he was going towards the start-finish line, and unfortunately for Just Asas, no time set. And it's quite easy round here to invalidate, and Just Asas has just proven that. So at the moment, no time for him, as we've seen sometimes start to filter in, but at the moment, I just want to talk about at the moment is Harry in first place, and I have to say, in a season where you're challenging for a title, you have to have some luck on your side. I think at the moment, Harry is getting that luck, isn't he? He was having a bit of a struggling race last week, but with Gamer getting that drive-through penalty, Harry come away from it, finishing in a good position, didn't he? And once again, it was similar case before in previous races. So at the moment, Harry is doing everything he needs to, and he's got that slice of luck on him. But tonight, I think he's really going to have to step his game up. I think this is a track where I think Gamer is particularly fast around, so, and a few others. So if Harry's going to keep this momentum up, being at the top of the standings, he's going to have to really be on his A game tonight.
As Cliffy almost loses it as they get towards the hotel section in the third section, and it looks as though he's going to back out of this lap. We'll see if he sticks with it through the final few corners. Just got a little bit too hot, and yeah, he does back out of that one. So the Racing Point, unfortunately, just overheating those tyres a little bit, and he will decide to back out of that lap into the pit lane with 12 minutes left to go. And yes, you are absolutely correct in your assessment of Harry and how he needs to finish really around here. However, this was the last time we saw Abu Dhabi on the calendar was last season, and it is one only of a few times we've been here to Yas Marina, and Harry was the winner. He started from the pole and took the flag at the end of it. He managed to take pole position in a time of 1:33.565, so that shows you just how much grip this game gives you compared to that, because he's already set a 32.768, so really good time from the Williams there. Foxy Red just dips into row 2 with a 33.524, just 0.2 of a second slower than Sam Bam Kid. CRG Gamer's out on circuit at the moment, and the Renault comes across the line. Did a 32.791, invalidated, so it would have put him into second position on circuit, just in front of San Pepito. However, I'm sure he will look to go again. Just under 11 minutes left to go in this one, Sab. We saw Harry do well here last season. We've seen the likes of Gamer who finished on the fourth position. Sorry, I think it's third or fourth. I can't remember if I remember correctly. I remember he was held up by Scott, Harry's teammate, who unfortunately is serving a race ban this week due to an issue after the race last week, and he was involved in that battle. It cost him the race win, and so Harry was able to get away and take the race win, and one of his two that he took last season. However, as you said, Harry has had luck on his side, very much so this season. He's picked up 2 race wins, yet has yet to lead a lap. So yes, very much been gifted 2 wins, but you will take them as much as they come. You have to be there to really reap those rewards of perhaps finishing second or third.
Exactly, yeah. He's got his car in the positions to take these victories, and I'm sure he'll be taking a bit of comfort knowing that he came here last year and won, but without his rear gunner teammate tonight, unfortunately for Harry, so there'll be no synchronised towing down the back straights between the Williams guys tonight. Harry's all on his own tonight, fighting on his own, so he'll be hoping to get out in front as soon as possible and try and run away with this if he can. But at the moment, he's still there with a 132.7, so I was just keeping an eye on Rimac. That's why I got a bit distracted. He was on a flying lap in his brand spanking new Ferrari for tonight, and he's unfortunately invalidated, so no time yet set for Rimac in that Ferrari with 9 minutes on the clock left.
As San Pepito comes into the hairpin at turn 7, just entering the second sector, and in Renault, the Spaniard from Tenerife now comes down the back straight. It's quite a long back straight here, and it is where, of course, the cars will reach maximum speed, 1,233 metres of it, all the way down to the heavy braking zone. The quick left-right flick, and now stretching into the second DRS zone on the circuit as they go underneath the bridge, around past the stands, which would most likely usually be empty because no one bothers to attend Abu Dhabi because it is that dull. But he does come into the second of the chicanes, left, right, left, and then into a second left. And this is it's a particularly tricky circuit. Track limits around here are really not on the side of these drivers, and you can find themselves just making the slightest mistakes and you can find yourself losing that lap. And Sam doing a good job of just trying to hit a couple of apexes. He's gone a little bit deep into some of these corners, but it looks as though he's on for a relatively good lap. He's currently a bit of a way off. He's half a sec off Harry's time at the top. Can he improve and get into the 32s? Not quite this time, but he does get a 33.063, so still 0.3 of a second off of Harry. So it shows that Williams had a really good lap, who's a tenth and a half down.
It was indeed, and talking of track limits, unfortunately, our winner from last week, Cliffy, is not enjoying the track out there. We interviewed him, didn't we, after the race, and he said he's not looking forward to this track whatsoever, and at the moment it's showing why. He's just invalidated again on his lap. I'm wondering if he's going for another another push lap on these medium tyres. He's not really had a go yet on the soft tyres, so I'm wondering whether we're going to be seeing oh, there we go. Harry's just improved ever so slightly, but he has improved with a 1:32.725, just solidifying that first place at the moment, that pole position moment. But yeah, Cliffy, are we going to get another Cliffy special tonight, starting from the back and working his way through the field again? Because he's pretty good at it these days.
He is, and we did say, as you said after we spoke to him, that he just needs to sort out that qualifying, because then we'll often find him at the front. And yeah, it is a track that you can overtake. Of course, 2 long DRS straights here. However, you want to be making sure that you are starting towards the front end to give yourself the best option. Of course, there was an incident at the start last time we were here between former IRL F1 multi-time race winner, in fact record race winner with 6 races won in a season, Hercules. He was caught up in an incident with Sam Pizzo off the line, with the two collecting each other at turn 1. It cost Sam a good result, and yeah, I'm sure Sam will be out to get a little bit of recompense this time around and picking up a good result here at Yas Marina. He will be out. He's currently in second position on circuit. He's in the pit lane getting ready for, I'm sure, a third and final run, as we've currently got a couple of other drivers out on circuit, and I'm desperately trying to stop myself saying riders. I've just come back from covering the Fab Racing Mini Bike British Championships from the northwest of England, so I cover 2 wheels on the real track offline. So yeah, I had to teach myself to stop saying drivers, and I have to teach myself to stop saying riders. So that's why I might be stuttering every now and then.
Well, I'll give you a break for now and just give you a quick update. CRG Gamer is on a new flying lap, and he's gone purple first sector. So CRG Gamer is flying at the moment. What is he going to be doing for this sector? It's not purple, but obviously it's going to be his best lap so far, because he's not yet set a time. But CRG Gamer now coming into that tricky stadium hotel section now. This could be quite easy to run wide or outbrake yourself around here and lock a wheel up or two. So Gamer just got to negotiate through his final few corners. He just ran wide previous round here, so he needs to make sure he nails this now. It was around here where he just got it right perfectly this time. So final corner, running to the line. CRG Gamer's first time is a 1:32.588. That was a stunning lap for CRG Gamer, and it really has set the benchmark now. Harry has some work to do now, with about 0.2 of the difference between himself and the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, that's a really, really solid lap there from the Comrade Gaming driver, Gamer 62. He manages to pick up a brilliant opening lap with 4.5 minutes left to go, so not much time for the likes of Harry, Sam Pito and Sam Bamkid, who's having a much better qualifying once again. We saw him have a nice qualifying session in China 2 weeks ago, now back up the sharp end once again. So good to see Sam Bam, of course, a 3-time champion here in IRL in previous seasons. Not one since season 6, almost 5 seasons ago, after making his return. So I'm sure he'll be looking at making a return to the podium in a very, very long time, as Rimac comes on to start his flying lap. We've got less than 4 minutes to go in this session. And it is going to be pretty much a dash to the flag for most of these drivers as he just about gets away with cutting a corner there. So I believe he was down on his time. So we'll go on board with Nathan, who's who's making his way through the chicane and really utilising the curbs on exit and running over quite a few of them. So I think he might be backing out of this one in the in that McLaren. So we will try and see if there's anyone else on a flyer, and we will see. Let's see, pit lane, going through the list to see who else might be out on a fast lap. As TL44S is equally going slow after invalidated. So I think we're about to see a whole heap of cars making their way out on circuit, I would imagine, to start their final flyer in this one with 3 minutes left to go.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times, haven't we, in real F1. Everybody deciding to wait until the very last moment to send their cars out and then get in each other's way. So let's hopefully hope that doesn't happen. I'm just going to keep an eye on Sambam Kid. Sambam Kid's just about to come round for probably his last flying lap in this Haas car. Can Sambam Kid improve and get anywhere near the front row of this grid? So I'll be keeping an eye on him as we're now starting to see some of the guys coming out on outlaps. We've got the likes of Harry, Burmeister, Foxy Red and Just Access all coming out. So yeah, this track's about to get very busy.
Yeah, Sambam unfortunately invalidates at T2, so not the lap he was wanting. There's only 2.5 minutes left to go in this one, and on those soft tyres he's going to be scrubbing off not one but 2 laps if he wants to try and beat that time, that 33.375. He's only 8 thousandths of a second faster than Scopefielder in second position, so yeah, unfortunate for Sam there. He's not going, most likely not going to be going any quicker, and might find himself dropping off of the second row of this one. And of course, welcome everyone, as you are here for the 5th round of the IRL F1 League, the Premier League in Invictus Racing League on the PS4. We're here at Abu Dhabi. It's a 5.5 kilometre circuit, that's 3.4 miles. It is a pole position, right-hand side of the track down towards that left-hander with a maximum speed up of around 212 miles an hour. The distance to turn 1 from P1, 305 metres. Not very long indeed, but however we do have 2 DRS straights down the 2 long straights, of course, on exit of turn 7 to turn 8 and turn 10 to turn 11. Expect full throttle to be on for around 59% of this lap, with high downforce and around 56 gear changes over the lap distance itself, which we're just on board with Cliffy in the Racing Point as he looks to set a time. He's currently on a 1:53, a completely unrepresentative time. He's just invalidated, so once again that qualifying bug has bitten Cliffy. He will be starting from the back row of this one.
Keeping an eye on Harry in the Williams, and in the first sector he is 1,000th of a second up on his previous time, so at the moment he's not going to be beating game. I'm just going to keep an eye on him for 1 second just to see what he does in sector 2, see if he's up or down, what is he going to be. He has improved, he's a 10.5 up now, so Harry on a flyer here. Can Harry find a bit more through his last few corners and jump Gamer? But equally, Gamer now also out, ready to try and defend that pole position. So this is going to go right down to the last few seconds to see who's going to steal pole position.
As Harry comes into the final few corners on this lap, he needs to nail every single one of them if he is to steal away provisional pole position, as we're about to go to checkered at the end of qualifying with 5 seconds left to go. Across the line, Harry BR25, what can he do? Can he go to the top? He cannot. He's only a 32.682. It's around about 10th off of CLG Gamer, who is on a lap. He's 400ths of a second slower as they're currently going around. We've got Samuel Pepito out on a lap. In fact, we've got everyone out on a lap now, apart from Foxy Red 2000, who goes up into 3rd position. Just Asas now dropping Samuel Pepito off the second row as well. So Foxy Red, brilliant lap from the Alfa Romeo driver, up onto 3rd place. Just Asas, of course, did very well indeed in France, and unfortunately dropped off the podium with a late penalty. In fact, he's just been jumped by teammate Sambam Kid, so the 2 Hasses currently in 3rd and 5th. So it's a good qualifying session so far for the American outfit. We've lost Nathan. He he's decided to bail out of this one in the McLaren. He's down in 10th position. Across the lines comes San Pepito, jumps up ahead of Just Asas into 5th position. So it's a third row start for San Pepito, unless we can see the likes of Scopefield improve. Scopefield, who's currently going just under 0.2 of a second faster, and that would put him up in reach of the likes of Just Asas and San Pepito. In fact, we've got a couple of drivers coming across the line to improve. Does CRG Gamer improve? No, he's invalidated that lap. Harry is still circulating once again, but I'm not sure if we're going to expect to see him improve on the time that he'd set, the 32.682. Scopefielder coming up to the final corner. Can the Swede, who of course is the all-time record winner here in Invictus, improve? He does, up to 7th position. TL44S in 8th. Jumperlinen on his return to F1 in 9th position, with Burmeister invalidating that one. He's down in 10th, and the unlucky 10th position where you don't get to use any fresh tyres. Harry's out on circuit. He's the last one, and he dives into the pit lane after setting that faster time, but not enough. He just loses out on pole position here by a 1/10 of a second to your reigning champion, CRG Gamer 62.
Have you seen the difference between Harry and Sambam Kid? Just 7,000ths of a second between the pair of them. That's all it was for Sambam Kid to get onto that front row. That's incredibly close, but overall a superb qualifying for Sambam Kid. He'll be delighted to be up there, and I think he'll feel like he deserves a podium, especially after last week. He drove superbly and just got stuck in that gaggle of cars, didn't he, last week, and was unable to get through them, and that podium position just was out of his reach. But tonight he's sitting in a good place, and if he can get a good start, a podium position looks really good for him. So fingers crossed for the Hash driver, he can have a good race. But there you go, there is your qualifying results from tonight's F1 qualifying.
Yep, the front two rows are locked out by the Brits of CRG Gamer, Harry BR, Sambam Kid and Foxy Red 2000. Then comes San Pepito, Just Asas, Spaniard and the Lithuanian. Then you've got Scopefielder, the Swede, in 7th, with the TL44S in the Racing Point in 8th. Then Jumperlinen in 9th, Burmeister and Nathan in row 5 in 11th, 10th, 11th. Then Rimac, Andre, Cliffy, who was unable to set a time, and Logshotter, unable to set a time, as the Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 team head and tail the grid this evening, with Gamer leading and Logshotter, who's jumped in from the AlphaTauri into the Mercedes. He's decided, unfortunately, not able to set a time in the qualifying session. He'll be starting from the back row alongside Cliffy. We'll look to see what Cliffy can do. Of course, we know very fast driver, however, never seems to get qualifying to go his way, and has only really put in some good laps in the likes of Austria early in the season. So watch out for that Racing Point. He will be charging through the field. However, it is very much the battle between CRG Gamer 62 and Harry BR 25. However, this time around, much like we saw last season, it's those two fighting their way at the head of the field, and but this time it's Harry leading away. Last time around, at this point of the season, it was Gamer that was ahead of Harry, with Harry chasing. This time it's Harry with Gamer chasing. Harry's got himself a 12-point advantage coming into this round, so he just needs to play the tactical game here. If Gamer wins, he needs to be finishing on the podium to really hold on to that gap in the title race, because we know that Gamer is so consistent over the season. Harry very much fell away at the end of last season, and that's what cost him a chance of fighting for the championship coming down to the final race of the season at Monaco, round 12. This time around, he's in a better position, 12 points advantage. He's got to start extending that lead out.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Harry. He can't afford to have a race, especially tonight, where he finds himself getting in scrappy battles with people in 6th or 7th place. He needs to be right up there. If he's starting in 2nd place and he cannot get the jump on Gamer early on, he needs to nail that 2nd place and make that position his own. He cannot afford to be dropping down the order and pretty much gifting points to Gamer, because we all know what Gamer's like. He's so consistent. He's so good. When he gets out in front, there's not many people that can often catch him and beat him. So So Harry knows this early start of this race is crucial. He knows he needs to get past him early on to have any chance of winning this race there. But if Gamer does get away, he can't get disheartened, can he, Harry? It's easy to find yourself getting disheartened if you're seeing your rival 4, 5, 6 seconds up the road, getting away from you. You've just got to then focus on getting the best possible position you can finish that race. And if it's second place, and so be it, and it limits that damage on his title hunt. Like you say, Harry, it was a very frustrating way to end the season last season for himself. So hopefully it was a learning part of the season for him, and he can use that into this season and help him fight against Gamer. But just as the guys now are on grid getting underway, I'll just give you a little heads up of who's doing what outside the top 10. Obviously the top 10 will all be running the soft tire, but outside the top 10 you've got Nathan, Andre, Cliffy and Logshot are all on the medium tyres, with Rimac in 12th place on a brand new set of soft tyres. So watch out for Rimac. He could be quite racy early on those brand new set of softs.
Yep, the softs here are 6.5 tenths of a second faster than any of the other tyres. The mediums will be around about 1.3 seconds faster than the hards, which are, to put it nicely, hot garbage around this Abu Dhabi circuit. So unless we see someone come into the box very early on with damage, don't expect to see those hard tyres used at all this evening. Most likely we're going to see a 1 or a 2 stop, with the ones are going to have to be extended out for a pretty long time. So those medium runners might look at possibly doing a 1 stop. If not, I think the 2 stop will very much be on the cards for some of these drivers inside the top 10. And yeah, expect to see lap times and pit times to come in around about, if they're planning on the 2 stop, around about lap 8 to lap 10. Of course, you can extend it out if you want to go onto a 1 stop to around about lap 10 to lap 12, depending on what tyre compound you're on. But it is all going to be about tyre conservation in this one and who can do it best. But watch out off the line. Last time we saw fireworks between Hercules and Sam Propisso. This time we have the championship leaders in CRG Gamer and Harry BR25 on the front row of this one as they head down to turn 1 of 21 corners here from this Yas Marina Abu Dhabi circuit in the United Arab Emirates. And of course, my name is Gareth Hall, and I'm joined as always by Alan Sabatino. So you can find us at GT2_driving for myself, at Alan Sabatino for Sab, as we talk all things commentary and motorsport over on Twitter. And of course, you can find out more about Invictus Racing League by going to the website at Invictus RL on Twitter, Invictus Racing League on Facebook and on Instagram. Of course, InvictusRacingLeague.com for everything you need to know about the league. Plenty more racing, so make sure you get subscribed to the YouTube channel, and of course help us out by pressing that like button on the video. Really helps us out with that pesky YouTube algorithm, helping to promote the league to new viewers. As you see, everyone now starting to filter into position as they get ready to start the 28 lap race of their lives here at the round 5 Abu Dhabi race of the IRL F1 League. Final position goes to Logshotter as the Mercedes filters into position, getting ready to start this one. As you can see, everyone just straightening up there. That was a nice move. But you got the red lights are out to come on, getting this one underway. And we're currently waiting for lights out. And there we go. And down towards turn 1 will go CRG Gamer. Gets a really good start. Harry getting a poor start off the line. He's going to get jumped by Foxy Red 2000 as the Alfa Romeo. Let's go to the inside as they go around towards turn 2. And Foxy Red does get the jump on Harry. So poor start from Harry. Brilliant start from Gamer. He's already streaking away.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything less from Gamer, really. It's not often you'll see a mistake or two from him early on, but what a start it was for Fox. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2, and it's John Polainen. Unfortunately, returning champion John Polainen has spun early on. I didn't see if there was any contact. I can't see any damage on the car, but unfortunately John Polainen's dropped to the back of the field as Harry has managed to get the move back on Foxy Red, and Harry back up into second place, and now he's got to try and maintain that second place and try, if he can, chase after Gamer, but Gamer is already 1.5 seconds up the road.
There's your AWS pit stop strategy. Expect to see 2 stops for both the runners on the mediums and on the softs. However, of course, we may see a 1 stop if someone gets early damage and has to come in and goes on to those hard tyres. There's contact between the McLaren and I believe that was Scopefielder as Nathan gets up the inside as Rimac already picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. So Not the greatest start to the race for the new Ferrari driver. He's down in 14th position, closing in on Burmeister, the Dutchman, in the Red Bull. And behind we've got this trail of cars with Logshotter, who's made a great start up into 10th position from 15th. He's already got himself involved in this battle, which is currently headed up by TCG Nathan 66. However, around the first lap, it's CRG Gamers. You can see everyone's scattering around the penultimate corner there, but it is Gamer that leads away from Harry in second position. Foxy Red 2000 in third, Sam Kid in fourth, Sam Pito in fifth, just Asas in sixth.
Yeah, it's that early pressure from Foxy Red. Foxy Red. He was just started to fall away now from Harry. Harry, with that early scare, has managed to rectify it and build a gap between him and Foxy. He's now already 1.1 seconds between him and Foxy, so Harry can now try and focus on CRG Gamer. Sambam Kid, though, is the one that Foxy Red is going to have to worry about, 6/10 of a second, and Sambam Kid is also bringing along Sam Pito. Sam Pito is almost trying to dive up the inside of Sambam Kid, and in the process has lost out to Just Asa, so that desperate dive from Sambam Pito there on Sambam Kid, easier said than done, has cost himself a position there. He wanted to move on 4th place, but now has dropped down to 6th, so Sambam Pito just a bit too eager there. He wanted to get the move done early on. I think he should have just been shown a bit more patience. So at the moment, the Haas drivers are running 4th and 5th there. Just Asas pouncing on a mistake from Sambam Pito.
Yeah, it's unfortunately we didn't manage to catch up on stream. I was just checking in with the battle going on between ninth and down as they had a 5-car fight. But yeah, it's something we often see from Sam. It's just something he needs to work on. He tends to try and force the move rather than waiting for the opportune moment. As you can see, the lap times will start to get quicker and quicker and quicker as we start to lose fuel and these tyres get rubbered in. DRS is now enabled as we enter lap 3, and it is currently CRG Gamer who's got 1.2 advantage, so he's outside of DRS, which is crucial for the Mercedes of Harry. Foxy Red has now dropped 2.7 seconds behind Harry, so you can see the top two are already starting to break away from the rest of the pack. Sambam Kid is closing in on Foxy Red 2000, so you've now got the two Haas cars trying to fight to the Alfa Romeo. Will they help each other and use the tow for Just Asas? He's going to get a huge tow down this back straight, this 1200 metre long drag down towards the chicane at turn 8 through turn 9, and here comes the Haas of Sam, not quite close enough as Foxy Red locks up the front left, and so does Sambam Kid, and he's going to get a run, as you can see, all skew-if with the Alfa Romeo on exit of turn 9, so this is going to open door for Sambam Kid to go around the outside. DRS enabled. This should be an easy pass for Sam if he's got the right setup. He's going to try and go to the outside. Foxy's going to hold on to the inside line, go a little bit deep in towards turn 10, turn 11 and turn 12, and just about holds on to position, and Sam's going to have to reload and go again in a few laps time. Sambam
Kid, they almost touched their banging wheels once again. Foxy and Sam's not giving this up whatsoever, neither is Foxy, and I hope to God we don't see any incidents between these two. I love good close racing, and that was very, very on the limit there. I thought one of them might have took each other out. I was just about to say Sambam Kid had a very similar situation, didn't he, last week, where he was very eager to try and get past and get the move done, and it couldn't quite work out. But at the moment, Foxy Red is the cork in the bottle, and he's really now being dropped by the top two, isn't he? 4.1 seconds already after lap 4, so Foxy Red, for some reason or another, is not enjoying these soft tyres at the moment, and he's got Sambam Kid, Just Asas, Sambam Pito, TL44S and TTG Nathan with Logshotter not far behind here, so there's a real Foxy train going on right now.
Yeah, there is, and we'll see what happens with that. We're just going to check in with the leaders because Harry's cruised right up to the back of CRG Gamer, and in fact he's got himself well within DRS, and he's down towards 0.3 of a second as they go to the first chicane at turn 8 and turn 9. Now onto the second DRS. Can he get a run on the Mercedes? Of course, title rivals now battling out at the head of this one. Reigning champion versus vice champion for the last year, and CRG Gamer is locking up the front left, and it's very easy here to overheat these soft tyres. They go off very, very quickly, and you need to look after them because, of course, We are expecting to see 2 stops, but you need to be paying attention, and looks as like we might have Logshotter dropping down the order. We had a brief yellow flag there, and the second of the Mercedes dropped down a couple of positions. So Logshotter, after a good start, he made his way from 15th into 10th, now drops down into 12th. Behind, the battles are really, as you say, starting to heat up with very much Foxy Red 2000, who's just been passed by Sam Bam Kid. He was a bit of a bottleneck there, but with the Haas now splitting the Alfa Romeo, you've got to think that Just Asas is going to want a piece of Foxy Red 2000.
Well, you say that Sam Bam Kid almost helped out his teammate. He got the move done nicely on Foxy Red, and Foxy Red went deep into the corner, and he opened the door ever so slightly for Just Asas. Just Asas went up the inside of Foxy Red, but Foxy Red just about held on to position. But you've got to imagine now Sam Bam Kid is going to be the one under big pressure now, because he won't have the RS to defend. So Sam Bam Kid has got to make sure that he gets this done right here, otherwise he could find himself with Foxy all over the rear end of his car. But Foxy Red has got bigger issues here, because Just Asas is much closer now than what Foxy is to Sam Bam Kid. So Just Asas now has got a great opportunity. He's going to leave it late? No, he's not. He's playing it sensible. Like what Sam Pito did earlier, Just Asas is playing it sensibly. He might try down in the next DRS zone, but at the moment Sam Bam Kid looks like he's slowly starting to pull away from Fox Red. It's crucial now for Sam Bam Kid to try and break that 1 second DRS detection zone and try and chase after Harry. But at the moment it's already nearly 6 seconds to the leaders, so it looks like it's just a battle for first between 2 drivers at the moment, and the rest are fighting over 3rd place.
Yeah, very much so, and Harry is really starting to hassle the back end of the Mercedes of CRG Gamer 62 as they come around to end their 5th lap and go on to lap 6 of this one. We've already seen Sam Pito make a stop, and Burmeister and Rimac as well have come in and made a stop. So pit stops already, undercuts have been put into effect, but very, very early on for Sam Pito to make that jump in towards the pit box and into the box. At this on lap sip comes TL4 and Scopefielder, so off of the softs. So they think the softs are starting to go off and want to get that undercut on the drivers up ahead of them. The likes of Cliffy, who's made a really good start, and equally Nathan on those medium tyres. They've now got themselves up into 6th and 7th position. Harry's now got a really good run on exit from Gamer, but Gamer, you can see deploying that battery down the back straight, trying to hold off Harry's ability to use the DRS. Of course, he's well within DRS detection and inside that 1 second window, but not quite close enough to get the move done. So frustratingly for the Williams, he's going to have to stay behind and just wait out this battle and wait for the right moment. You can see he's getting a much better exit on Gamer now, and we're going to go on board with the Williams as he closes in. It's not going to be close enough by the time they get there, as Cliffy picks up 3 seconds. Will he think about both? Not quite, and he's going to try and let Gamer make a mistake, just force his hand and make sure that Gamer just looking behind him and then force him into a mistake. Will be Harry BR25. Does he play this tactically and just sit there? Of course, at the moment, Gamer is very much punching the hole in the air for Harry to follow. Harry won't want to be doing that. He won't. It's much easier, although you do heat up the tyres by following, you do allow yourself to have that extra aerodynamic drive with someone else in front of you punching that hole. Now into the box comes Gamer. Does Harry follow him? No, he stays out, so he's going to go for the overcut here. So this is a brave move from Harry.
It really is, and I'm just keeping an eye on Foxy Red, and I'm not surprised at all that Foxy Red is also coming into pits, but also is Sam Bam Kid. So Just Asas had to stay out. The other Haas driver, I just wanted to point out, Just Asas got the move done on Foxy. Foxy tried to come back at Just Asas, went deep, and that almost allowed TTG Nathan to come in through there. And Cliffy as well was in close proximity. I don't know if you mentioned, but Cliffy has also picked up a 3 second time penalty as well really early on. But Just Asas had to stay out, obviously, because of double stacking at the Haas pit box. So Just Asas up into 2nd place, but can Harry make this work now? He seemed to be the faster of the 2 guys, didn't he, at the moment? So maybe he's just looked after those soft tyres a little longer, as he's a small lock up there. But Harry, you would surely expect him to be coming into the pits this end of this lap with also Just Asas 7.4 seconds now behind Harry. So that gap is it's Just Asas all out of shape there. And is that going to give give TGG Nathan an opportunity here on the medium tyres in that McLaren. I think it is. TGG Nathan around the outside. Is he going to be able to late brake? Slight lock up. But yes, there you go. A bad mistake there from just ASAS, and it just shows those soft tyres have really gone off on that Haas driver. And TGG Nathan now up into second place. That was a nice move from the McLaren driver.
CRG Gamer is currently reeling in that time that Harry has. It was 18.5 seconds just a few corners ago. It's now 18.1. So with each corner, Gamer is taking around about a tenth of a second off of Harry's time. And Harry does come in towards the box and in for his first stop of the race onto the medium. So let's watch out. We've still got Nathan, Just Asas, Cliffy, Logshotter and Andre that are yet to make a stop, as Just Asas does equally come into the box on this one. So it is all going to be about looking after those tyres. Harry gets out as he gets released from his pit box, comes underneath the circuit, and the most probably one of the most unique pit exits in Formula 1, and he's going to come out of the pit lane. Where is CRG Gamer? Well, he's already way off into the distance, so it's not worked for Harry, this overcut. He's now lost himself almost 3 seconds to the Mercedes.
That was a bad call, wasn't it? I was amazed when you was calling it that Harry did not follow in with Gamer. You'd have thought he'd have just carbon copied the Mercedes and then gone on the attack again. But now, like you say, 3 seconds for Harry to make up. That is a big margin to make up. But I just wanted to point out there's been a change for the lead. TGG Nathan was leading this race, but Cliffy is now into the lead, first place. He's under a bit of threat from Nathan to come back at him, but Cliffy has him well and truly covered. So at the moment, we've got now Cliffy up 13 places in his racing point in the lead, and we've got McLaren's in second and third as well. I didn't expect to say that, no disrespect, but we've got Nathan and Andre in second and third, so with Logshotter not too far behind after his mistake in fourth, with CRG Gamer just about a second behind his teammate. I can imagine Gamer will be on the radio now telling his team, get my teammate out of the way. I've got a very fast Harry coming behind me. He does not want to get held up by his teammates as he's cruised right up to the back of Logshotter. Now he needs to be able to get past him as soon as possible. Surely Logshotter is just going to allow him past, but still Gamer is still tucked behind his teammate, and surely now there's going to be an opportunity here for Logshotter to let his teammate pass, but no, Logshotter stays in front, and this must be incredibly frustrating for Gamer, because Harry has took about 4 or 5 tenths out of this lead already, and Logshotter proving to be a real pain in the backside right now for his teammates, as Logshotter still isn't moving out of the way, and surely now Gamer will be tearing his hair out here, because he's tucked right up underneath that Mercedes rear wing and he cannot get past. But surely now with DRS he will cruise past, but that has cost Gamer a good second, 1.2 seconds there. Gamer will not be happy with that.
No, he won't, and he does manage to get past. I'm sure if he was Logshotter, he would have been thinking, look, I'll just keep you I'll get you into my DRS and I'll drag you down the back straight. But with the fresh tyres for CRG Gamer, it really did hold him up. And as you say, it cost him a second and a half to Harry BR25, and Harry's now really cruised up to the back of this fight. So he's going to get back involved with the 2 Mercedes. Logshotter, of course, yet to stop, along with Cliffy, Nathan and Andre, the 2 McLarens yet to stop. And so yeah, that move for the Mercedes team just didn't work. So as you say, maybe Logshotter should have, in his first race for the Mercedes team, should have just dived out of the way. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Hopefully you're all having a great Monday evening and you're enjoying the racing. Make sure if you are to press that like button. Always good to hear from you. Also drop into the comments. Good to hear from you guys. Find out if you're enjoying it, if you're watching, and what you're watching out for. Is this a little bit of find out what the F1 boys are doing and see if you can implement that into your week's racing, or is it just you've got nothing else to do and you want to hear the sultry tones of myself and Sam bringing you some excellent racing on a Monday night as CRG Gamer comes across the line. Burmeister picks up 3 seconds. He's down in 14th position. Not having the best of races is the Dutchman. Came in very early, jumper line, and after making his return to F1, unfortunately he's down the order involved in that incident at turn 1. And just want to point out the two Alfa Romeos. They're currently leading the Constructors' Championship, not having the best of races at all. Foxy Red currently 9th, Scopefielder down in 12th. Of course, we've still got a few cars yet to make their stops. However, they are well down the order as Harry sweeps past Logshotter. Logshotter tries to get back into the tow of the Williams, but he won't have enough to come back at the Williams of Harry BR25, who's already got within 1.5 seconds of Gamer. So Gamer, however hard he tries, just can't seem to shake Harry off.
No, he can't. It looks like to me Harry probably is the faster of the two guys tonight. It's just all about trying to reel that Mercedes back in now after that pit stop window just didn't work out for him. But Harry looks like he's on the chase gauge now, 1.7 seconds, 1.6 seconds. But Gamer is now slowly starting to cruise up to the back of both the McLaren boys, and this will not be easy for him. If Logshotter was proving to be difficult to overtake here, this could be even more bad news for Gamer, and Harry surely be rubbing his hands at the thought that Gamer could be stuck. But oh wait, that's one McLaren got out of the way, so Gamer will be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief there. TG Nathan comes into pit, so there's only one McLaren to negotiate past now, but still, Andre here is not going to make anything easy for Gamer, is he? Andre is doing his own race here. He's got no ties to that Mercedes car, so Andre will not be bothered about whether Gamer gets past him easily or not. So Harry will be hoping now, 1.3, 1.2 seconds now, Harry will be hoping that Gamer gets stuck behind that McLaren for a bit longer, but I can't imagine he will be, as there you go, Gamer's already passed him at the corner. Andre a bit deep into that corner there, but Gamer now can get away, and this will offer Harry an opportunity now to try and reel in Gamer a bit more. It's down to about a second now, so Gamer not getting away from Harry at all.
No, you're not. Harry's going to get a dose of double DRS down this main and back straight, and he's going to go with... Andre does have a bit of DRS to defend, but will he decide to go for it? Harry's going to go to the inside line, and it looks as though the McLaren won't have anything to come back at it with, and Harry does get up into the third position on the circuit. Of course, it is net second position. Cliffy yet to stop these runner of the Racing Point, currently leading along with Andre and Longshotter, started on those medium tyres. Harry now back within DRS of the race leader, CRG Gamer 62, and very much this battle will continue between the two championship protagonists of Harry BR25 in the Williams and the Mercedes of CRG. And into the box does come Cliffy 7765, so the Racing Point comes in for his first stop of the evening. Andre picks up 3 seconds as he comes into the box as well, so a late penalty there as he dived into the pit lane. Harry now within 7/10 of a second of Gamer, so Gamer, after thinking that he got a really good undercut from the Williams, 3 seconds he'd built out, it's now found himself back down to 7/10 of a second. Harry had been setting some purple laps before that, so he's pushing very hard, and seemingly, of course, he picked up the race win here last season. Harry seemingly enjoys this Yas Marina circuit.
He really does indeed. He's definitely one to keep an eye on here. And Harry now, I think, even though he's got DRS here, 8 turns back, he's not obviously going to be able to get anything done here. It's all about, can he get it slowed down enough to be able to give himself a good slingshot and for the next DRS zone. There he is, like just 4/10 of a second. He can firmly see the back of that Mercedes now. What can he do from this position now? It's down to 5/10. Can he send one down the inside? Is he going to put any pressure on Game? I think he's a bit too far back to do anything here. Harry plays it sensibly, and rightly so. There was no way there was ever going to be a door open there. Gamer was never going to give him an opportunity to send one diving down the inside Daniel Ricciardo's house. So this is all about patience now, isn't it, for Harry? He can sense that he's quicker than Gamer at the minute. He's just got to pick his moment and pick it right, because he doesn't want to end up with damaged front wing or even any time penalties either. So he needs to play sensibly. There's still plenty of laps on board to finish off this race. So Harry just needs to get it right, and he'll be able to get this race victory. But at the moment, it looks like to me Harry is the faster of the two.
Yeah, it does, and we will find out, because tactics will come into play as into the box comes Logshotter, so the Mercedes out of the way of Sam Bam Kid, who was starting to close in. Sam Pepito goes with him as well, so the Haas and the Renault hotshot their way past that Haas. Just want to make a quick note that Cliffy onto the hard tyres, so he's going for the one-stop strategy. Now, we said that the one-stop is quite hard. Of course, it is very easy to take the hards to the end in this one. However, they are much slower compared to the softs and the mediums here. They're a good 1.6 seconds a lap slower than anything else. So watch out for that one, because Cliffy might get himself up into a position where he can challenge for points.
Sorry, Gareth. Sorry to do it. Here comes Harry. Harry for the lead. Serve down the inside, and Harry eventually gets the move done. Nicely done there from Harry. He came from half a second back, just reeled in that Mercedes, said thank you very much. Gamer had no opportunity to defend from that, but Gamer now has DRS, not able to come back at Harry, and Harry now takes the lead. What can Harry now do from here? Because Gamer will be hunting him down to try and reclaim that first place. Can Harry now defend from the front? He's been very good at attacking so far. Can he defend and hold on to this lead?
Fascinatingly, Harry was recovering energy all the way down that second DRS straight. That red LED was flashing on the back end of that Williams. So all the way down the second straight, he was recovering battery power that he'd obviously used up getting that move done on Gamer. And Gamer now making a slight mistake as they go into turn 20. Just a little bit too much steering lock there, and he just got a little bit of oversteer. And you can see Harry starting to break away already. So not a great lap there from CRG Gamer. Just a couple of mistakes here and there, as he possibly got caught out by Harry, as you say, making that late lunge. And it was from so far away, I wasn't expecting a move to be done, so I wasn't even watching. I was looking at my stats about tyre wear. So yeah, Harry really caught me out unaware, but he's already built out an 0.8 of a second gap. He's going to still be within that DRS window of Gamer, so Gamer's going to try and stay with it, but we know that as soon as you drop out of DRS, that's really curtain. So it might have to be that we've seen this before, that this middle stint for some drivers doesn't really work, and they then kind of heat it up and push a little bit harder when they're on low fuel later on. But yeah, Harry, as you say, very much seemingly having the slight edge on Gamer this evening.
And Gamer once again goes slightly deep into the corner and locks up, and he lost time there, and it's proven it's nearly a second off Harry now. He will obviously have DRS down this straight to recover back some of that time, but Gamer is really not enjoying this, is he, out there at the moment? And if Harry does break that 1 second time barrier, then surely he will just run away with it. And there you go, look, Sergio Gamer with another mistake there, and it's now up to 1.2 seconds. So Gamer is in a bit of trouble here, but he's comfortably in second place. As you can see, Sambam Kid good 7 seconds behind, but Harry just seemingly in a race of his own at the moment. And if he can control this now, Harry, this race victory looks well and truly in his hands.
Yes, very much so, and Harry, I'm sure, will be sitting there sweating in that armchair that he drives in. We've seen pictures of Harry's driving setup, and it's very much like a dad's armchair with a bit of a smoking room. He should be wearing a robe and reading the paper. However, he manages to really lock in some really good driving in that chair of his. But he's currently 1.4 seconds and extending over CRG Gamer 62, as Cliffy is still trying to close in on Rimac. Cliffy, having made that stop onto the hard tyres, is trying to stay with the mediums of Rimac, the Scotsman who joined Ferrari this week. Sam Pepito lost a little bit of time to Sam Bam Kid on that last lap. Sam, who will be running around a little bit happier this time, looked pretty well nailed on for a good result back in China. Unfortunately got caught up in a little bit of traffic and cost himself a podium in that one, of course, involved in the battle with Scott Bugner. That ended up costing Scott a points position, his first of the season, and Sam equally will be looking at picking up a first podium here at Invictus Racing League since season 6 back on F1 2017, I believe. So a long time since we've seen Sam Bam Kid on the podium. Here comes Cliffy, DRS on the Ferrari. Can the Racing Point get alongside Rimac? Not quite close enough. You can see Rimac deploying that battery down the long straight, even with DRS. Cliffy unable to get it done down in towards turn 8 this time around. I'm sure he will lock it in and ready, although he gets a little bit of torque steer on exit. However, he does seem to have the speed and goes up the inside of the Ferrari up in towards the second chicane at turn 11. So the Racing Point now up into 12th position.
Talking of Racing Point, Cliffy's teammate TL44S has just been passed by Scopefielder down the back straight. Comfortable move there for Scopefielder. TL44S didn't really have any chance in defending that. Schofield making the move done nicely. He's now 4.6 seconds behind his teammate Fox Red, and the Alfa Romeo team, you spoke about them earlier, having a difficult evening so far, are starting to recover their race, sitting in 6th and 7th at the moment, so getting some points back on the board. Fox Red only about 1.1 seconds behind just Asus as well, so the Alfa Romeo team are starting to come alive a bit more in the second half of this race.
Yeah, and we've seen TL44S has been getting quicker and quicker and quicker with each week that he has been in this IRL F1 League. Of course, he's a driver that you've known very well, having teamed with him in the Realistic Performance League for several seasons, and it's been really impressive to see this Racing Point get quicker. He looked nailed on for a podium in the Netherlands just a few rounds ago until he was involved, unfortunately, with that crash between Tampa pit zone. In fact, he just gets tagged there by Nathan in the McLaren, and Nathan trying to get a run on the Racing Point ahead. Nathan having made a stop much later than TL44S. He's got 5-lap cleaner tyres, and in fact Nathan equally trying to get a move on the Alfa Romeo. He does go up the inside of TL44S into 8th position, but now he's got his eyes firmly fixed on the Alfa Romeo of Schofield, and Scope, of course, our resident Super Swede in 7th position, who had a much better run back in China last week, didn't he, Sam?
Yeah, he did. Schofield, back on the podium. He'll be pleased with that. But right now, I can't imagine he'll be too pleased seeing the Papaya McLaren putting all the pressure on him now. And he looks like, to me, as he's coming into the pits, Schofield has had enough of those medium tyres, and into the pits the Alfa Romeo driver comes. He's seemingly realised that he's not going to be able to defend that position, and is coming on for a second stop, I believe. So Schofield now, what is he going to change tyres onto? It's another set of mediums. So Schofield, with his second stop, will be dropping down to maybe 12th, 13th place, as Rimac in the Ferrari also pits again.
He does, as Schofield goes underneath the track and out of the onto the exit and back onto under the lights here at Abu Dhabi. The blue sky in the evening, very much dusk overhead, and the Alfa Romeo back out on circuit. Of course, Schofield, who did finish on the podium for the first time in what felt a long time with his teammate, and that was the reason why we see Alfa Romeo currently leading the Constructors' Championship ahead of the Williams of Harry BR25 and Scott Bugner. Racing Point doing very nicely in the Constructors. They're only 4 points back from the Alfa Romeos leading as well. So the Constructors very much wide open as we are in round 5 of the season. Just one more round to go before we have a week-long break, and that is the dreaded streets of Monaco. So yeah, Sab, it's a pretty much we have the halfway break is Monaco, and the final race of the season is Vietnam. So we really are putting these drivers' nerves to the test.
Putting my nerves to the test as well, as we see the top 2 drivers into the pits, as well as Sambam Kid into the pits. So Harry was followed in by Gamer. Gamer learnt from what Harry did not to try an overcut, because that does not work. So Sergio Gamer following in Harry. Harry had built up a 2.1, 2.2 second lead over Gamer, so Gamer couldn't afford to try an overcut and lose even more time. Where does this bring out Harry? Harry is going to come out just ahead of Andre, and that's going to bring Game out behind Andre. So Harry in a McLaren sandwich right now. He's right up the rear end of Nathan. He'll be wanting to get past that McLaren as soon as possible. Nathan running deep there at the hairpin, and now Harry surely with DRS should be able to cruise past that McLaren down this straight here. Nathan doesn't really have a chance here, but Andre has also got DRS, so he'll be trying to reel in not only his teammate but Harry as well. But I think Harry will have that covered. He does have that covered, and CRG Gamer now has 2 cars to get past, 2 McLarens to get past, to try and hang on to the back of Harry. That was crucial for Harry, wasn't it, to get past Nathan as soon as possible, to try get some clean air. He's got 7-second gap to just Asus now, whereas Gamer now has 2, let's say, mobile chicanes to get through in order to try and keep with Harry.
Yeah, of course, but the 2 McLarens are battling for position, so they do not need to give way to the Mercedes behind. So this is going to be frustrating for Gamer. He's going to have to find the right place to make the move. And certainly don't force it. You don't want to be picking up any unnecessary wing damage here. And it's just going to be, I'm sure he's going to be banging the steering wheel in frustration, because he's going to be seeing his title rival drive off into the distance as he's stuck behind these two McLarens. He's going to have to try and clear one as soon as possible, but not able. Of course, around here, the only real overtaking points are down using DRS, because they're such medium speed corners that it's hard to send it on anyone really, especially in this opening sector. And he's stuck behind Andre, and the gap is just extending and extending and extending. So Harry crucially got ahead of Nathan, and just behind Gamer, who found himself coming out behind both the McLarens in front. He's going to have to lock up because he's just being caught out by the late braking there of TCG Nathan, which equally cost his teammate some time, and is once again tagging as Nathan loses his braking point. Andre gets into back of him, and that opens the door for Gamer to get past, but Andre's going to come back at the Mercedes. Does he try and get into the tow? He knows that he's not involved in this fight, but will he try and send it and try and get back involved? Not quite. And he's going to have to try and shape him up if he is to try and close in. Use the toe of that Mercedes, because I'm sure if you're Andre, he won't want to be battling too much of his teammate. However, you do always want to finish ahead of him, just for that mental fight.
Yes, indeed, and CRG Gamer, with a big, huge sigh of relief there, finally gets past both the McLarens, and now the gap, he's not lost too much, has he there? The gap was about 2.1 seconds before the pit stop phase. It's now 2.3, so he's lost a couple of tenths at the most as he makes a slight mistake there. That'll have cost him a tenth or two there, but Gamer now back into a similar position to where he was before. I just wanted to point out as well, Sam Pepito and Just Asas have come into the pits and come out on soft tyres. So that'll be very interesting to see how those guys get on for the last 8 laps of the race. I'm sure those two will be looking to be very fast, as Sam Pepito's coming up to the back of Logshot at a rate of knots, and I imagine Sam Pepito will be wanting to try and clear that other Mercedes as quick as possible to try and have any opportunity to try and catch up with Sam Bam Kid, who's, as we've lost Cliffy. We have lost Cliffy. He's out of the race, and his name just dropped all of a sudden. I don't know if he retired in the pits or what, but we have lost Cliffy and he's out of the race.
Yep, unfortunately in Sector 3 we'll see as the jump line goes past the pit lane. Yeah, we can't see the Racing Point out on circuit, so I can imagine it is in the pit lane. Unfortunately for the Racing Point, he went on to the hard tyres, yeah, because he's just changed tyres, so it was in the pit lane for the Racing Point. So unfortunately for Cliffy, he's not able to get any points from this 5th round of the season here, and luckily for Harry, that didn't cause a safety car, as we have done or seen in the past, and he can keep that 2.1 second advantage that he's got over CRG Gamer in 2nd position. And the Comrade Gaming esports driver Gamer currently unable to really counter anything that Harry's doing in that Williams, and Harry, I'm sure, will be very happy, but will be wanting to pick up his first real win of the season. Of course, he's won 2 races so far, but he's yet to finish first or even lead a lap. This is the first time he's led a lap so far this season, and he's done it in some sensational style behind the pair of them. We've still got Andre and Nathan who are set to make a stop, so that will promote Sam Bam Kid, Sam Pepito up into 3rd and 4th position as Sam picks up Sam Bam picks up a 3-second time penalty. Gamer does the fastest lap of the race, and that one 0.2 of a second faster than Harry last time around, so he's now knocked that time down to 1.9 seconds. So Gamer now starting to take some life out those tyres as expectedly the soft runners set the fastest lap, and currently at Sam Pepito, he's now dropped 1.2 seconds behind Sam Bam Kid. So surprisingly, Sam's not really reeling in the medium runners like we thought he would.
No, he's not, and Sam, I think he'll be having an opportunity. We know he's got a big opportunity here to get a podium tonight, Sam Pepito. He's only 1.2 seconds behind Sam Bam Kid. If he can get under the crucial 1 second time, is losing time hand over fist now. It's already 1.5 seconds now, so he's lost time there, Sam Pepito. But if he can get within that 1 second of Sam Bam Kid, there's a real chance of a podium place here. But another mistake there from Sam Pepito, and the moment I think he might be just trying too hard to catch up with Sam Bam Kid. There's a couple of mistakes in a couple of corners there, and that's not going to help him try and catch that hash driver. Sam Bam Kid will know he's on those medium tyres. He can These tyres will last longer towards the end of this race, where Sam Pitto, he's got to try and use these tyres while they're in this window, this hot window. But at the moment, Sam's not really using them properly. He's making mistakes here and there, and I think he's just trying too hard to try and catch up with that Haas. But at the moment, Sam Bam Kid is catching up with the Mercedes drivers, the McLaren drivers quite quickly. So I imagine the McLaren drivers will be peeling to pits anytime now, as we do see one of them peeling to pits, and that is Andre. So Andre from third position into the pit. So it's been a decent drive, I think, from both the McLaren drivers. They've tried a different strategy. Let's see how they get on for the rest of this race.
Well, you say that as Andre picks up a 5-second speeding penalty for jumping, coming into the pit lane. So unfortunately for him, that's going to cost him big time in the standings. We just had a 3-wide battle down the back straight between Logshotter, Burmeister and Jumperline, and Burmeister looked to have got hot-shotted himself up 2 positions, but unfortunately just with the brand new soft rubber, Logshotter managed to sweep around the outside and hold on to position. But a brilliant battle down outside of the points between the Mercedes, the Red Bull and the Renault, who's now dived into the pit lane for a new set of soft tyres. Nathan has come out behind has just been jumped, by Sambam Kid, so he's yet to make his second stop. We expect to see him at the end of this one, so it's promoted Sambam up into 3rd position. Sam Pepito just can't really counter anything that the Sambam Kid in Mahas is doing on those new soft tyres. We know that the soft are very easy to overheat around here, so Sam's having to really watch out for it. And I keep saying Sam, but it's Sam versus Sam at the moment. So we're a little bit inundated with Sams in this league at the moment, because luckily for CRG Gamer 62 we can use his username rather than his actual name. But yeah, it's very much Sam versus Sam, the British one versus the Spanish one, and currently it's the British one winning in the Haas car. He's currently on for a 3rd podium as Nathan just about misses the wall, but picks up a penalty for his actions there, and he's going to have to wait until the last minute. Did he look to? Yeah, he did. So unfortunately for him there, Sam Pepito went down the inside and cut the nose off the McLaren, who was wanting to come into the pit lane.
Yeah, I thought they were going to collide there. You could clearly see Nathan was trying to come into the pit lane, but Sam was so eager to get past that McLaren that he held up that McLaren just a little bit to stop him from getting the pit lane. But in all that time of being held up, Sam has lost more time to Sam Bam ahead in the Haas. So Sam Bam with 5 laps left, can he hold on now to that 3rd place? He was eager to try and get a podium last week, wasn't he, and got caught up in traffic. Can he hold on to it now? He's very unlikely to reel in the top 2, just 9.3 seconds off that pace. So it's all about if he can keep the Renault of the Spanish Sam behind him. But just ASAS, crucially, is catching Sam Pepito quite quickly as well. That's only 1.2 seconds. So Sam, in a Haas sandwich right now, might have to start looking in his mirrors as well as looking forward.
Harry's now starting to find his lead being cut down quite considerably. CRG Gamer has taken 0.4 of a second out of him on this lap alone. It's now down to 1.3 seconds. So Gamer, with 5 laps left to go in the race, is really starting to put the pressure on. It's now down to 1.1. Harry is really struggling on this lap. Has he overheated the tyres? It's going to dip under towards the DRS window as they go around the first sector. And it looks as though Harry's lost an end. Has he lost an end plate on the front right-hand side? No, he hasn't. Unfortunately, the black inside looked as though he'd lost it, but he's really struggling on these tyres. He's lost himself 0.7 of a second on that last lap, and the Williams is now going to come under real threat from Gamer behind. So Gamer saved himself some energy, saved himself some fuel, and it looks as though he's going to go to push late on. We thought that Harry was going to run away with this one, but at the late stages he's really starting to come under threat. We've got 4 laps left to go in the race. Harry BR25 versus CRG Gamer 62. The two of them are currently 1st and 2nd in the championship respectively, as Gamer locks up the front left, going in towards turn 9, and as Logshotter picks up a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, big pressure here from Harry. He needs to keep out of this DRS window.
He does indeed. I didn't realise until you'd said how much Gamer had reeled him in. I kept one eye on it a few laps ago, but didn't realise how much Gamer had reeled him. I was keeping an eye on further down the field, and yeah, this could go right down to the wire between these two for the win. for their sake, they want to be hoping not to be pushing too hard so they pick up any time penalties. A time penalty now could really be crucial, could cost them the race victory. So it's a delicate balance here between the pair of them. They want to be pushing to try and hold each other up or attack, but they don't want to push too hard that they run wide and pick up any penalties. But as you can see now, look, Gamer is under that 1 second window. So can Gamer keep that one under 1 second and start to really reel in Harry for the lead? Just further down, I just wanted to point out, Just ASAS is starting to fall off the back of Sam. Foxy Red is starting to reel in the other Haas drivers. So maybe Just ASAS has took too much life out of those soft tyres, and Foxy Red is looking to try and pounce and steal 5th place.
Yeah, so these softs are very much unpredictable around here, very easy to overheat them, and they need to take care of them. Sam Pito and Just ASAS will start to suffer on them. Foxy Red 2000 Scopefielder. Foxy Red 2000 will be able to close in. Scopefielder is a little bit further back, 10 seconds behind. He's got TL44S for company behind. Andre and Nathan will be looking at closing in as well. We're on lap 25 of 28 of the IRL F1 League here from Abu Dhabi, the 5th round of their season. Next week we are heading to the streets of Monaco in the Principality for the street race, and we will see if it will be these two again. Last time around we didn't see Gamer at Monaco in round 12. It'll be the first time we see him on the streets of Monaco for a long time here in Invictus, and he's now got that gap down to 0.3 of a second. So Harry has very much gone from being the hunter to the hunted, and he's got a very fast Comrade Gaming Gamer 62 behind him, and Gamer, I'm sure, will be eyeing up that first place finish. Of course, neither one of these drivers is sitting on a penalty, but as you said, if they do pick up that 3 seconds, it could be crucial in this one. As you can see, the pit boards out for both the Williams and the Mercedes, telling them that that gap is only 0.6 of a second across the line, and so Gamer is well within a shot of taking this race win as they go on. 3 laps left to go on this race. Make sure you tune in for the rest of the week's racing, whether it be F2, F3, F4 on the PS4, which you can find on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Tuesdays for F2, Wednesdays for F3 and F4. Realistic performance on Thursday, and then of course Xbox on a Sunday and a Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. PC on a Wednesday night at 8 p.m. as well. So plenty of action here in Invictus throughout the week, and of course, if you aren't already, make sure you do subscribe. Always good to see new subscribers joining the party here in Invictus, and of course you can find out more by going to InvictusRacingLeague.com. My name is Gareth, joined as always by Sab, bringing you commentary of the IRL F1 League, the Premier League here in Invictus on the PS4. As Harry, as you can see, once again recovering some energy down that back straight. Gamer unable to make the move done just yet. He's still sitting in that 0.6 of a second window. The laps are very much starting to come down now. They're going to come onto the penultimate lap of the race after this one, so Gamer's not got long to make that move. However, we've seen before with him, he waits until the final stages to make sure that Harry won't be able to come back at him. So it's what we usually see in bike racing, is you wait until the last moments, the last lap, to make that move, to not allow your opponent to come back at you. Will Gamer be doing the same thing? Harry's managed to extend the gap out to 0.8 of a second in this one, so he's taken 0.2 of a second ahead of Gamer. So Gamer falling away a little bit. Has he used a bit too much battery? Now he's in conservation, waiting for a last lap push.
Just further behind, we have some battles as well, especially for a podium place. Sam Pito is right onto the back of the Haas driver of Sambam Kid now, under a second, around half a second. So Sam really started to put the pressure on for a podium place, and Foxy Red has also got the move done on Just ASAS. Just ASAS is hanging on in there, but Foxy Red has got the move done into 5th place. But it'd be crucial here for Sambam Pito. Can Sambam Pito get the jump on Sambam Kid? This would be really cruel on Sambam Kid. He's deserved the podium time. He's drove really well, and Sam Pito really starting to put the pressure on. Just 0.6 of a second now. He has DRS. He's gonna just not be quite close enough this time round. But like you say, is Sam, like what Game is planning, is Sam gonna try and do a move at the very end of this race and see if he can steal that podium place and not allow Sambam Kid to come back at him?
Sam Abigail, of course, sitting on that 3-second time penalty, so it is looking as though, unless I can't remember if San Pepito had one flash up earlier, so the Spaniard looking at picking up a podium in his return. I'm sure will be a good recompense for him after being spun out at T1 last time we were here last season, which of course was round 2. And of course you can find all of that by going back through the YouTube playlist that we've got from the IRL F1 League, where you saw this fascinating battle between Harry and Gamer, and once again it's going to play out the final lap here of IRL F1 here from Yas Marina, and we've got one more lap in this one. Harry has got to hold off Gamer's charge, and the Gamer's getting himself into a really good position. Logshotter picked up a 3-second time penalty. We saw Nathan pick up one on the last lap, so penalties still being dished out in the last stages of this race. Gamer closing in on the Williams as they come up to the hairpin for the front time. He kicks the rear end out, just holds on to it. How much time has it cost him? Not that much, but is it enough to allow Harry to escape down the back straight? The gap is going to be 0.7 of a second, so it's going to have to be a real hard push for Gamer to get down that back straight towards the braking point, in towards turn 8 and turn 9, and setting him up for a move in towards turn 11. He almost tags the rear end of the Williams. This is going to go right down to the wire here on the 5th round of the IRL F1 League. We've currently got Harry BR25 versus CRG Gamer, your two championship protagonists. Gamer is lining up, he's getting closer, not quite close enough to send it into the corner, but he's going to still sit behind the Williams. It's going to be agonising for both drivers. They know that it's going to be ever so close. Gamer is closing in on Harry. Harry's just got 5 more corners to go after this one to hold on to the first win, where he will cross the line first. He's already taken 2 in the season after being gifted due to penalties, but Harry BR25, who won here last season, is looking to make it 2 in a row here at the United Arab Emirates at Yas Marina. Just 2 more corners to go for the Williams. Gamer's got nothing to do to come back at him. He can't pass at the final corner, and it's going to be Harry across the line. He takes the win to the fireworks and applause. Gamer in second position by 0.4 of a second. Sam Pepito has jumped up ahead of Sambam Kid. He will come across the line and pick up a podium position. So Sam on his return does manage to pick up 3rd ahead of Sambam Kid. Foxy Red in 5th position with just Asas, who's got a couple of penalties, might drop down. We will see. Just TL44S is currently in 7th position ahead of Scopefielder. Can the Racing Point hold on to 7th place? It is going to be across the line. TL44S does drop down behind Schofield, who jumps up to 7th. Andre in 9th position, and the Mercedes, sorry, in 10th position is Logshotter. Does he jump up? I believe he's got a couple of penalties, so he might even lose some. He does lose outside, drops outside behind Nathan. So 2 points for or 2 points place finishes for the McLarens in 9th and 10th. Burmeister in 12th. Rimac in 13th. And unfortunately jump a line and comes across the line in 14th position. What an end to that one.
That wasn't bad for Abu Dhabi, was it, Gareth? That was absolutely superb. I thought Gamer might have tried to send one down the inside, but great defending in the end from Harry. Unfortunately for Gamer, it just wasn't quite enough. Maybe if he'd have had one more lap, Gamer might have been able to do it, but in the end, Harry just about got the job done, and that'll be a huge confidence boost, won't it, for Harry? He knows that he needs this sort of fight to go his way if he's going to win a championship here in IRL F1, and tonight he has beaten Gamer on pure pace, so big congratulations to Harry. I cannot wait to hear what these guys have to say in the comms box shortly, but no, big congratulations as well. Sam Pepito, he's come in tonight and grabbed 3rd place position there, and that'll be a big confidence boost for him as well, I think, because he's not had the motivation, shall we say, of racing recently, so hopefully this gives him plenty of motivation for future races.
It does, as there is your confirmation of the race winner. Harry BR25 takes it in 46 minutes and 13 seconds, 0.4 of a second after 28 laps over CRG Gamer 62. Sam Pepito does manage to pick up 3rd place with the fastest lap, so he picks up that bonus point ahead of Sambam Kid, Foxy Red 2000, Just Asas, Scopefielder TL4S, and then the 2 McLarens of Andreo and TTG Nathan 66, rounding out your top 10 in a breathless end to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here, round 5 of the IRL F1 F1 League. And yeah, that is definitely worth a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, guys. Really good to hear what you thought of that race as well. So make sure you drop into the comments. Let us know what you thought of that one. Of course, if you're not already, make sure you press that subscribe button that's just to the bottom of the video. We'd love to hear from you guys, and hopefully you all enjoyed a brilliant race, which I'm sure we will hear from all the guys very, very shortly as they filter into the group as we have a quick wrap up on the evening. But yeah, brilliant race. Really enjoyed that one. Good to be back, and yeah, it's 4 days of commentary covered for me, and I'm looking forward to a bit of a break because after that one my voice is about to die. So yeah, congratulations to all the guys. Brilliant racing. Really good to see what the Premier class of the PS4 drivers can do here at Invictus Racing League, and that's why we have a really strong grouping of drivers here on a Monday night. Really good to see what they can do, and pushing out hard and getting some really good results, and offering some excellent entertainment. And Sab, just whilst we wait for the final people to filter in, have you got any particular highlights? Anything you particularly enjoyed from that one?
I'll be honest, I really enjoyed the battle for the lead. I thought Harry had run away with it at one point, and it wasn't until you pointed out that gamers started to come back at Harry that we were going to have a real titanic battle for the end. But we saw some great battles throughout the whole of the grid tonight. Just Ace, I thought, had a good race battling with the likes of Foxy Red this evening. Salva Pito also getting the move done. Crucially, I didn't realise he also had a time penalty I seen on the so he had to get the move done on Sam Van Kid, and he got the move done really well. I saw the final ebbings of that battle, and they were battling hard and fair. So yeah, there were some good moves overall. The DRS obviously helped a lot with that, but overall I think we got a good race right at the very front, but also throughout the field. So wherever you looked in this race, I thought it was absolutely superb. We've got everybody in the comms box now, so I'll hand you over to Gareth, and we can hear what these guys. I've been really looking forward to hearing what these guys have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure, guys, you've all got your voices to allow to be shared so everyone can hear you, because I'm going to start off with Harry. I imagine he's quickly run to the bathroom to probably relieve himself from that one, because I can imagine later on in the race you thought that Gamer might have your number on that one.
No, there's no point going to the bathroom, mate. I've done it in my chair. Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a little bit quicker than Gamer in the first two stints. So when I came out quite a good spot in my last stint. But to be fair to him, he was really did a strong last stint, and I think he had one lap where he was 1.5 behind, and all of a sudden he was in the DRS. So, and I didn't have much battery at all to defend for. So yeah, it was really tough. Obviously around here, you know, it's one thing trying to be quick, but if you pick up loads of penalties, which you can so easily do, then it's all for nothing. So you're trying to push and not go wide at slightest corner. It was yeah, I think one of the probably most stressful races I've maybe ever had, I think.
Well, it was great fun to watch, and like you said, you had a really good first two or opening stint, and you managed to get into the lead of that one. And when you came out, you managed to put the two McLarens in between yourself and Gamer, and that really did help you kind of stretch out a bit of a lead. But were you shocked to see his pace in those final 5 laps when, like you said, you were just losing time hand over fist? I think he took 7/10 of a second out of you in one lap, and we thought you'd taken a chunk out of your front wing because he was just closing in at a rate of knots. So yeah, what was it for? Where did you think you were losing time? Was it purely just Gamer turning the wick up, or was it just you maybe losing a little bit of focus?
Oh, I think it was probably just him. I think probably just doing a very good job. Obviously, you know, when you're in front, you've got to maybe be a little bit more careful that you don't get a penalty. But no, I wanted to make sure he didn't get the undercut on me again in the second stint. But no, on the medium set tyres, obviously, because in the second stint I was quicker than him, but I had a lap better tyres, so that kind of made sense when we was on equal tyres on the mediums. He was just quicker, and yeah, thankfully for me, I had very little EOS, but I had just enough to keep away from him, and I think he probably needed, well, when you cross the line 4 tenths behind, he probably could have done me with 1 lap more. So, but no, it was a great race, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
15-point advantage in the championship now. This is the biggest gap you've had over him ever in your battle that you two have seemingly been having for the last season and a half or so. So what have you got to do to maintain it for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, forget the rest of the season. I'll be happy if I still have a points advantage. Something of after Monaco, and Monaco is probably my worst track. So, no, I think going into the season, I probably preferred the last 6 races over the first six. Looking at them, but there's still some really tough races in there, so it'd be very difficult. I mean, and he's without a doubt probably the quickest driver I've raced against in league racing, so it'd be difficult. I think I just need to hope that he has a few off races. Really, I think if he does 6-7 races at his best, then I probably won't be able to stop him, even with the advantage.
Well, congratulations. Great to see you actually come across the line first to take a win this time, and that picks up your third one and your most amount of wins in one season ever. So good season for you so far. On to second place finisher, the Comrade Gaming driver, Gamer62, and Gamer just couldn't quite get him at the end there.
Yeah, it was very close, but no. Thankfully, I had quite a bit better pace than I did in the first 2 stints in the last one. I don't know what it was. Like, obviously I had a really good start, and the gap was like a second after like 3 corners. I was thinking, this is decent. If we just keep the gap, but I was sliding around so much on the softs, and in the second stint again, I was just sliding everywhere. I'm not sure why. I made the setup change just before the race, which probably wasn't a good idea, so that might not have helped. But yeah, I was sort of, as soon as I started losing time in the second stint, I was just kept making mistakes. Came into the last pit stop, I was like, right, the gap's 2 seconds. I'm just going to go for it and let's see what happens. And then I came out the pits behind both the McLarens. I was like, oh, I can't get any worse. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Harry, he was really quick. I think, I was in the DRS at the end, but the exits he got up the middle chicane going down to the last of the 2 straights was really good. I don't think I'd have got a run on him. It'd been hard to pass even if there's another 10 laps, I think. So I mean, he drove better today really, so he deserves the win. And we'll go on to Monaco and try and redeem ourselves.
Well, it was a brilliant race from yourself, and we saw, as you say, you came up behind the 2 McLarens, which was probably worst case scenario, and equally we saw you really getting caught up behind your teammate Logshash in the other Mercedes in the first stint, and it looks as though he was trying to stay ahead to give you a bit of a tow down the back straight, but I think you lost 1.2 seconds in that fight trying to get past him. So obviously traffic not helping you this evening, but yeah, as you say, a little bit of oversteer and understeer this evening. So is that just something to work on and set up, and you come back and obviously we go to a completely different circuit at Monaco next time around, but late setup changes, apart from that, it was a really good race from Harry. So it's really good to see you two battling on circuit, and we saw last season you kind of started towards the end of the season to run away with it. Is it much nicer to have someone to chase this season?
I mean, I don't know, I quite liked being in the lead, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be really challenging obviously now to pull that 15-point gap. Like, obviously, if I was to win like 5 races in a row now and Harry gets second, I'm pretty sure I'd still be leading the championship, so it's going to be very difficult, and I'm probably going to have to hope for an off race for Harry again to get back in it, but we'll see. It's going to be really close, and yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. Definitely have to push a lot to keep up and try and beat him, so can't wait for the next races.
Well, congratulations, second place for you, another podium position, always and to see you up in the top 2, and we'll see you next week in Monte Carlo. And third place goes to Sam Pepito, and Sam, you've come back. Hopefully you've reinvigorated yourself and you're a little bit happier. And do you feel a little bit redeemed after possibly losing out on a podium or a win last season when you ended up getting spun at T1?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I knew I was gonna be pretty quick here. I really enjoy the circuit, and yeah, just happy to be back on the podium and not having any issues because I'm just had so many problems in the first races, so it's good to be back to having a normal race.
And we saw you go for the differing strategy going on to the softs at the end rather than the mediums. So what was that decision? Because that was quite a long stint on those softer tyres.
Yeah, because Samba was just quicker. He was a bit quicker. I was just keeping up with him because of maybe DRS and ERS just managing it, and I was just within a second. And yeah, in the first stint I was just in traffic, so I decided to undercut everyone and put the mediums pretty early on lap 4 or 5, if I remember correctly, and yeah, just did a long stint on the mediums. Was keeping up with Sambam, and then yeah, when I saw Sambam going for the mediums, I just had to go for the soft just to try something different, and I was surprised because I was quicker than him, even though the softs were a bit more worn than the mediums. But yeah, I just went for a move, and yeah, it worked out perfectly.
Well, congratulations, third place for you. Big question is, will you be joining us for Monaco? You gave up the win on the last lap last time there, last season, so will you be joining us for that one?
Yes, I will be there, but hopefully it's a much cleaner race than last season, and well, yeah, I like Monaco too, so it's gonna be interesting.
Well, look forward to that one, and yeah, congratulations to Harry, to Gamer, and of course to Sam for their podium finishes. Harry's third win on the season, which gives him a 15-point advantage, and Sab just wrapping up on that one. Brilliant race here at Abu Dhabi, and setting us off towards the streets of the Principality at Monte Carlo next week. Very much a completely different kettle of fish to what we've seen this evening. They're going to have to get those setups right, make sure they keep away from the Armco barriers on the other side. It's going to be a fascinating one.
Oh, it certainly is, and we've got those walls right up close. You don't want to be sliding or running too deeply into corners there, because you'll find yourself probably getting a DNF, so it'll be a totally different challenge for these guys. But we spoke earlier on in the race, didn't we, about Harry needs to step up tonight and not have an off race if he's going to really challenge Gamer. And tonight he proved that he can really run against Gamer. So if we can see that on running for the rest of the season, I'm sure we'll have a superb title fight till the end of the season. Something similar to what we've seen a few seasons ago with Hercules and John Platt. It'd be nice to see a title fight go all the way this season, so keeping my fingers crossed for that. But going into next week, I think anybody can win going into next week, because like I say, you just don't know how it's going to approach this race. You could end up even having a wet race around Monaco just to spike it up even more. So yeah, next week should be absolutely fascinating. I'm not looking forward to personally racing around there, but I can't wait to watch these guys give it their best.
Yep, the most important qualifying session of the season next week. So make sure you tune in next Monday at 8 p.m. for the sixth race on the season, the final before the season break, the 1 week long break, and they will be heading to Monaco. Of course, you can tune in to the rest of Invictus Racing this week, and we have the F2 League on both the PS4 and the Xbox, streaming on twitch.tv and YouTube tomorrow at 8 p.m. Wednesdays are for PS4, F3 and F4, and the PC League, all streaming on the PC. Realistic performance on the PS4 on Thursday, and then on Sunday, of course, it will be the Monaco Grand Prix at 9:30 p.m. for the XBOX F1 League, the Premier Class on the Xbox. So plenty of action to sink your teeth into, and thank you very much for joining myself, Gareth, and Sab. You can watch and find out all of the following races on the YouTube channel by making sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Go to InvictusRacingLeague.com to find out more about the league, and Invictus Racing League on Facebook and Instagram, Invictus RL on Twitter for all details and updates. We'll be back in 7 days' time in Monaco, but have a very, very good week. Stay safe, wear a mask, and we'll see you soon.